Today I'm here to speak about ethical dilemmas in medical design. Some ethical background. Right action ethics lead to right results. To be ethical, one must question what is right. The bottom line is patient safety is number one. Questions to ask yourself. 1. Will my product fail safe? 2. What are the risks associated with my design and how can they be mitigated? 3. How to report findings. Findings should be presented precisely, honestly, completely, thoroughly to build trust. Dilemma number 1. A research engineer from Company X, a medical device company, was asked by the product development team to design and perform a research study on a device. The engineer was told by the team to produce a specific result that would be favorable to regulatory and marketing. What should the engineer do? The engineer is trained to know that data drives the design decision. Data must always be collected unbiasedly as stated by the scientific method. Ethics play a role in component selection as well. There are 3 key areas to focus on during component selection: safety, risk, and cost. The engineer tries to maximize safety by reducing risk without increasing the cost astronomically. Sometimes the cost increase is acceptable. A cost-benefit analysis will unveil if the change buys enough risk mitigation. If the risk decrease is large enough, then the purchase is followed through. The cost of an instrument has a target, and each component has a price budget. Some components are not as critical as others. Critical components get special attention during the design process, as the critical components are required for proper function of the device. So it is imperative that these critical components to be reliable during the entire life of the product. Critical components are typically inspected annually by biomedical engineering. This annual service ensures the proper function of the device. For the next upcoming year, the FMEA failure mode and effect analysis are performed on every ethically designed product that enters the market. FMEA lists the failure modes and risks associated with their device and provide elegant solutions through product design to mitigate risk while maximizing the MTBF, the mean time to failure. The second dilemma example. During the selection of fittings, the engineer finds plastic cheap fittings compared to expensive stainless steel fittings. During the selection decision-making process, utilizing right action ethics to produce right results, the engineer weighs heavily on the following: cost, risk, benefit analysis. What happens to the patient if the component fails? And thirdly, this complex scenario. Is it more cost effective in the long run to have a service plan for the cheaper component or to have a large capital expense up front during the production of the device? The cost effect analysis is tricky. If the part fails, what happens to the patient? If the risk is acceptable and the MTBF is reasonable, then the money is saved for other critical components. In closing, the most reliable designs come from trusting your engineering decisions if an ethical approach was utilized to always protect the patient and user. The final design will be a success. Basically, ethics is a thought process that must be answered from multiple perspectives. The research engineer may not have all the answers, but he is equipped with an ethical tool set that he can use to make the most right answer. Conversations with others in the organization really shed light on the way that things need to be done. If the team believes that right action ethics produce right results, the team will be doing its best to succeed.